Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Scott, and today we're taking a look at the 5th year anniversary Artisan Series Abomination model that's been recently released for Conquest: The Last Argument of Kings. Parabellum was kind enough to send me a copy of this kit, and it's really cool, so let's go ahead and dive into this review. Let's start this review off by taking a look at the pieces for this kit. Now, this is an Artisan Series model, which means it's made out of resin, and as such, it has a lot of really cool texturing that they can do with the pieces. Right off the bat, when I opened this kit up, I was really impressed by the texture of the carapace in particular. It looks like when I paint it, it's going to look organic and really believable. Now, there is quite a bit of mold line and flash left over on the model, and that's because this is a very complicated kit, especially the main body piece. There's a lot of little nooks and crannies and crevices where mold lines can happen. So you'll have to take a little bit of extra time to clean those up when you build this model. Cleaning up the pieces on this model is pretty straightforward. The first thing you're going to want to do is take a pair of clippers and very carefully clip off all the excess resin rods that are sticking off of the model. Once you've done that, you're going to take an X-Acto knife and very carefully drag this along any edges where there's excess resin or mold lines. And you don't have to dig at all with this knife. The resin bits are thin enough that they'll just flake off when you drag the blade along the surface. The assembly instructions on this model are really easy to follow, and as long as you go in the order on the instructions, you'll have no difficulty building the model. Most of the build time for this kit was the cleanup stage for all the pieces. Once I had all the pieces cleaned up, this model went together in maybe 10-15 minutes. Now, you might be wondering just how large this model is, especially compared to its previous version. So here it is next to an old Abomination and the Siegebreaker Behemoth. And as you can see, it's pretty much the same size as the old Abomination. Its proportions are different. There are a lot of areas where it's skinnier than its predecessor. In fact, I think if you took away the extra set of legs and the little spiky bits on the back, this would almost be ever so slightly smaller than the old Abomination. Comparing this model to monsters from other armies, we can see that it's pretty much on par with other monsters such as Jotnar and Titans from the City-States army. Now, the extra legs that are coming off the back up over the shoulders do extend off quite a bit on the front of the model, which might make it difficult for it to slide into base contact with other monsters, but it shouldn't have any difficulty with cavalry and infantry. Taking a look at the rules on this model, we can see that the Abomination is a heavy monster regiment with a march characteristic of 10 inches, volley of 0, clash of 2, 10 attacks, 10 wounds, resolve of 4, defense of 3, and an evade of 0. For its special rules, it has Cleave 1, Flurry, Terrifying 1, and Impact 5. It's pretty common to see Abominations in a lot of Spires lists, and so I've been on the receiving end of them quite a bit. What makes them really scary is that 10-inch move, that essentially gives them a threat range of 26 inches if they were to march and charge and roll a perfect charge, and that's a pretty scary range, especially when they have 10 attacks with Flurry and a little bit of Cleave. I do find that these don't tend to do very well in terms of their defense. It usually turns into whoever gets the first charge wins the combat. It's pretty common to see anywhere from 1 of these to 4 of these taken in a list, and it really just depends on how much you want to lean into the heavy playstyle. Now, I have been seeing them a bit less ever since the Siegebreaker Behemoth came out, because the Siegebreaker Behemoth is really nasty, although these are quite a bit cheaper to take than the Behemoth. Now, the big question is, do you need the 5th anniversary Artisan Series Abomination in your collection? Now, this answer really depends on how long you've been playing Spires and how many Abominations you already have. I know people that own as many as 8 of the old Abomination sculpt, and so for players like that, you really are only ever going to want to get 1 of these, maybe 2. But if you are a newer Spires player, the old kit is no longer being produced, and you're definitely going to want to pick up 3 or 4 of this new Abomination. It's a really cool model, quite a step up from the older sculpt, but if you already have a bunch, functionally you just don't need to pick up more of these. Now, that said, I still recommend it. It's going to be a great collector's item and a fun paint project. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I really hope that you've enjoyed it. If you have, be sure to like it, and then subscribe to the channel so you can see future videos I make. I'd like to give a special shout out to my channel members that make videos like this possible. If you would like to become a channel member, hit the join button below this video. As always, have an amazing day, and we'll catch you in the next one.